I love her lyrics are just fantastic, are they not?
You see me standing out here with my outstretched hand. I guess no one ever talked.
I'm really loving the intervals that she's choosing here. Kia ora, my name's Beabadoobee and I'm your vocal coach for today because we are taking a look at the fabulous vocal technique of Beabadoobee. Now, Beabadoobee has a very distinct vocal with a little bit of breath coming through, and it is relatively quiet for a long, for a great deal of the song. She has been making waves in the music industry, and I want to show you how she is able to maintain such a breathy, quiet sound for such a long period of time in her songs, and some exercises for how you can do the same at home. Let's get straight to what she's up to with her vocal technique.
Alright, here's a fun one. This one's not out too. It's called Real Man. Why don't you just pull another, my simple lover? I'm not going for no other. I told my mother what you did, like a kid, and I already told you I just want.
She's got such a fantastic sense of like lyric, and also I really like the jazziness. This is not my style of singing, but I do coach singers on working with exactly this type of singing. So important to note that she's very close to the microphone. So let's hear her speak again. And you're going to notice that there is quite a big difference between the volume of her speaking and when she goes into the song. So she really pulls back on the volume with this amount of air. I'd be so interested to hear actually how loud she speaks in her normal life, because sometimes when you've got your voice coming through your inner ears, you tend to sort of like speak a little bit quieter. Like, for example, I can hear my own voice now, so it forces me then to speak a little bit quieter into the microphone. So when you've got this, we're hearing that little bit of slack vocal folds coming in. Also another way that we can hear that is a very quiet sound for that slack to be able to come in.
Why don't you just pull another, my simple lover? I'm not going for no other. I told my mother what you did.
So we can hear the lots of throat. She's sort of going from a little bit of a breathy thin fold into what I would really consider to be falsetto up there. We were just talking about this in the masterclass actually yesterday in the Vocal Academy. What is the difference between falsetto and head voice? And so we're hearing that. We're hearing that distinct click as she's going into the upper register, and there's sort of a hollowness to that breathy sound. So she's singing breathy, but then there's like a hollow breathy sound and she's going higher.
Lover, I'm not going.
Can you hear that? I'm not going. We got a slight tightening, not tightening, but it's like a little bit of the upper constrictor. I'm not, with a higher larynx position to keep that. Not making fun of Beabadoobee. I'm just saying that this is how you kind of create that sort of like brighter sound. Which is also important. So we're going to flip into the falsetto further, like to go. It really helps if we've already got a high larynx position to go into those higher notes.
I told my mother what you did, like a kid, and I already told you I just wanted to dance. Could you see me standing out here with my outstretched hand? I guess no one ever taught you how to be a real man.
That is really, really cool. I love it. But you can hear she's coming down. And again, not making fun of her. When she's got a slightly high larynx position, we've got a bit of constrictor coming in. And we notice that the larynx is not coming down with the pitch. And in this section, I mean, she's very intentional with her sounds. I'm sure she's made this decision for herself. I think it's important to say, hey, what can I do with my voice? What's possible? And then, you know, learn all the things that there are to learn about vocal technique to go like, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. And this is how I see myself as an artist. And that's exactly what I work with day in and day out with singers, professional and non-professional, working on finding like what's the essence of them, what works for their voices. And that is my job the whole time. So if you're looking for like really getting into the nitty-gritty of what your voice can do, then you can apply for singing lessons down in the description below. I'm taking on like literally a handful of people next year.
My simple lover, I'm not going for no other.
I say, for no other. That smile's also going to be helping to keep the larynx high, but also the tongue high for this voice quality.
My mother, what you did.
And we hear, what you did. That's the larynx not going down to meet the pitch. What you did. Which so actually we're on the B flat below middle. Say, did. So she's kept the larynx high for that effect as well.
Like a kid. And I already told you I just wanted to dance. Could you see me standing out here with my outstretched hand? I guess no one never taught you how to be a real man. Walking as the morning beckons, you said you'll be a second.
So you can also hear be a second, and that having that higher larynx position is also going to help us to then bring in that which is the slack vocal folds at the end there. You can really tell how loud this microphone is turned up, because as she was laughing, you know, she was quite far away, but you could still hear the laugh quite loud.
As the morning beckons, you said you'll be a second. Locked the back door, yeah, you should have mentioned. Guess I should have expected. I'm out here blue. What to do? And I already told you I'm not part of the band. Please forgive me just for thinking it's a fleeting romance. I guess no one ever taught you how to be a real man. Would you hold it down and take it if I gave you a chance?
So we can have so we're getting actually it's a very thin vocal for very, very sweet. I love her lyrics are just fantastic, are they not? So we're hearing again like lots. Again, thin vocal fold. I'm trying to get my thoughts straight here because it's sometimes hard when it's the first time I'm listening to songs. So we've got this thin vocal fold sound there, but definitely got to get that's all about flexibility. That's all about practice right there.
Yes, no one never taught you how to be a real man.
And you go when she's back at and she's bringing the lips slightly forward there. That can, you know, the tendency can be in these higher sounds or in these brighter sounds, we should say. It's not very high. Would be for singers to often like widen the mouth by smiling too much to get the brightness here. But actually, if we're creating the brightness already with a high larynx and a high tongue, we can afford to bring the lips forward, which is going to just like darken the timbre a little bit rather than kind of like overshoot the brightness.
And I already told you I'm not part of the band. Please forgive me just for thinking it's a fleeting romance. I guess no one ever taught you how to be a real man. Would you hold it down and take it if I gave you a chance? Need the reassurance, baby,
like her lyrics there. It's kind of, again, very difficult to kind of listen to the lyrics there. You know, that's a really I'm really loving the intervals that she's choosing here as she's going down, but she's going that just takes a lot of practice with the intonation. I was thinking about, like, what is she up to with her vocal technique? But it's pretty much she's staying between. I really don't think that higher sound is falsetto, because as I was saying at the beginning of the analysis, when we're looking for falsetto, we're looking for a slightly hollower sound, and actually whether you are able to get louder on the sound or not. We aren't hearing her necessarily get louder on the sound, but we're hearing a considerable amount of vibrato come in. But we don't always get vibrato in falsetto, but we can get vibrato in falsetto. It just sounds like there's just too much core to that upper sound.
Need the reassurance, baby, not a silly romance. Guess I'm used to being disappointed, falling too fast.
You hear that? Used to being disappointed. I think that was falsetto right there. And forgive me if it's like, sometimes in these sorts of situations, it's like, I've got to hear that like 5 or 6 times in order to really get it, and do a couple of tests. So if we were really testing if someone was in falsetto, can you get louder on the sound? If you can't get louder on the sound, then you're most probably going to be in falsetto. But it is also about, I have a couple of singers actually, my professional singers, who are really struggling to get out of falsetto, even though the sound does not sound breathy and there is a considerable amount of vibrato in it. And that actually takes a little bit more of a harder look at what we can use in order to get better vocal fold closure and stop them from going stiff. And that needs to be looked at on a one-to-one basis. If that is you and you're struggling with your volume and with your vibrato in your upper register, so you can apply down below, because it is really a lot of troubleshooting with particular singers.
Silly romance, guess I'm used to being disappointed, falling too fast. If you wanna go and get it, and I hope you last. If you wanna come and get it, and I hope you last.
That is so cool. And I like that little, if you want it, come and get it, and I hope you last. That's very cool. I like that little cheekiness at the end there. I really like that there's a definite sort of like ease to the sound. She don't sound like she's trying to put something on, although the voice doesn't sound like she speaks. It's still something that, firstly, most importantly with every artist, is it something that they want to create? Is this the sound that they're looking that they want to create? Are they looking for that? Do they like it? Do they like the sound that they are making? Those are the 3 questions that I always ask new students when they're coming into the studio. And then I ask them, what do you actually want to do with your voice? What do you want to change? Because it's important that it's not just my opinion or even other vocal coaches in the academy's opinions of what their voices should be. We work with, as you've just seen in the video, in the analysis, we work with the physiology of the voice to say, okay, if you're wanting to sing louder, higher, stronger, then you need to do this, this, and this. But firstly, if you are looking to improve your vocal technique, it's important that you're able to get lots and lots of different sounds across the range. And you would not be able to sing these types of songs if you didn't have a solid chest voice base. So you can get my free singing lesson down in the description below, because that will be going deeply into the first 3 lessons that I take every singing student through when we are trying to really secure their chest voice. I've also got a lesson down there for you more advanced singers that feel like your chest voice is already sitting well. So I've got you covered down in the description below. Wow, Beabadoobee. Can't wait to see more of her performances. And I have to ever think, what is very similar? I'm going to chuck it up here so you can keep on watching. Have an awesome rest of your day, and happy singing. Ka kite anō.